Hey guys, Clint here with American Patriot Defense. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I've done a review of any type. I've just been really busy and I'm still healing up from my Achilles injury, so I haven't really been on the range. But sorry, got out of frame there. Gonna start doing a little bit more reviews, especially since I've got this injury and I've actually got a lot of rounds through a few guns now that I haven't really talked about, and some optics and stuff. So it's gonna bring me some time to do that. But one of the ones that I'm gonna do, actually I have 0 rounds through it. Well, that's a lie. I've got a couple of 100 rounds through the tester. I liked it so much I went ahead and ordered one for my own collection. So that being said, I introduce to you all the Glock 45 COA. It's also got a TLR1 HLX on it. And then I put the Glock performance trigger, duty rated performance trigger on it. So other than that, it's a stock gun. So the COA, so really there's not really anything special about the gun itself, but it's the package deal that Glock has come out with, aim point with this, that is really, really cool. They definitely are targeting agencies. When I say agencies, I mean law enforcement agencies, because at the price point, it makes it really, really competitive or advantageous for an agency to get a gun straight from Glock that has an optic mounted already on it, that is warranted and everything. No slide cutting, no adapter plates, nothing. It's good to go straight out the box, and it's an American-made optic. It's really, really competitive at the price point that they're selling them at. I'm not going to mention the price point that I got it at as law enforcement, but it's really, really competitive. Let's just say this: you can't go buy a Glock 45 MOS and a aftermarket plate and a duty rated or a decent red dot sight, either a 509T, 508T, RMR, another aim point, Steiner, and build the gun for what you're going to pay for this out the gate. It's that competitive, and it's substantially competitive when law enforcement go through their distributors. So even on the civilian market, I think it's probably a fairly competitive aspect when we talk about going onto the civilian market. And you go buy if you want to shoot a Glock, you go buy a Glock, and and everything, you're probably gonna be at more money than what you would have been if you bought this from the get-go. All right, so like I said, I've got limited rounds through it. When we did our T&E on it, our little testing, when they came down and showed us, the reps that came down and showed us. So let me give you my opinions on first opening and everything like that. So I'm not going to really talk about the gun itself, because it's a Glock, right? So it goes bang. You put bullets in it. You put bullets in it, you pull trigger, it goes bang, okay? But let's talk about some specs on the COA real quick, okay? So COA, something that comes with, it doesn't come with an optic box. Everything came inside a Glock box. It was fully assembled inside a Glock box. Obviously my light and the trigger were separate. I had to put those in, but the gun came inside a Glock box, 3 magazines, as Glock typically does, and a little, this little thing that had everything that was for the aim point itself there. So inside you get this nice little laminate user manual. It came with the battery. I had to install the battery on it, and when I installed the battery, you use the supplied Torx bit and these little wedges to pry the battery cap out. Not a big deal, really cool. Okay, let's go over some specs. So depending on what option you got, it's either a 3 or 5 MOA. I don't remember which one I ordered. I'm knowing me, I probably did the 3, and looking through it, I'm pretty sure it's the 3. It is night vision capable, one MOA adjustments, so one click at 100 yards, 12 settings of brightness, and I have went through all those settings. So it's got uh, um, uh, Jesus bright and then night vision capable as well, where you can't see it. Okay, CR 2032 battery. So really cool thing about that for a lot of agencies, if you're running agency optics, or if you're running optics in general, a common battery for optics is a 2032. Guess what? Now your optic can run a 2032. Nothing not that there's anything wrong with like a 1630 or a 1632, but it can be a little bit more convenient to have one battery that covers both your optics. I like that. Okay, so if anybody knows me, like everybody knows, I'm a Walther guy. I love shooting my Walthers. Not a big deal, but well, I can't get this optic in the cut because the cut is patented right now. The optic in cut is patented by Glock right now. We'll get to a little bit more here. Okay, battery life, they're saying 50,000 hours at setting 7, daylight setting 7, which is approximately 5 years. Okay, so that's the important stuff. Okay, so let's talk about like I can give you like the actual specs on the size, but everybody wants to know is like what's it actually look like through the window. All right, so the window itself, okay, the window itself is the same size as an acro. So you're not giving up any window space. The really convenient spot is you gain your field of views on the side a lot more than you do on the acro, where the battery compartment and stuff is gone. You don't have to worry about it being as bulky, if that makes any sense. Like that was one of my biggest complaints about the normal acro, is whenever I present it in front of my eyes, I just felt like I had so much stuff, like a big block in front of my eyes, and this really just like really streamlined it behind me. It almost reminds me of almost like a 509 now, like how slim it is, but it's taller versus wider. 509 is going to be wider. This is going to have a little bit more tallness, which is to each your own. It's kind of like a shooter preference kind of thing, right? So the cool thing with on the recoil, with it being taller, you can track the dot a little bit more through the window, or better chance of not losing the dot on recoil. Versus if it's wider, you pick the target up a little bit faster on the transition from left to right. So if you're doing everything right, either way shouldn't matter. Okay, you should be able to just pick it up and shoot it. The mounting system looks really, really robust on this. Now, one thing to note is when this patent runs out eventually, and you're going to have your option to be able to get your weapon cut with this cut. It's going to be probably very limited machinists that are going to be doing this, because you have to have a back plate with your sights to be able to secure this optic, right? And you're going to be married to this optic. Okay, I don't foresee, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't foresee other companies making this cut really, right? So I can see them continuing to do this for this optic, but I don't see a lot of other companies making other optics for this cut, because there's so many other options out there, right? So if you, whenever the patent and stuff runs out and you're able to get one of these on the market, if you just, and for your other, non Glock, it would be an option, but you're going to be kind of married to this. I'm sure somebody will probably come out with a plate, but again, then you're running into those issues with the plate. But the mounting does look really, really robust, to the point where I typically don't advise people slamming, charging and stuff, but I would feel more comfortable using this as a charge point than just 2 screws, because of how it sits inside, almost like it's like dovetailed in, essentially, and you don't have all that force going into just the screws or to the lugs. There's something there to eat that force up a little bit more. So that was really cool. Sits really, really low. You've got factory height sights, blacked out sights that come from the factory. They're blacked out, and they are lower 1/3, just barely there to get a sight picture. if your optic goes down. They are truly backup iron sights, which I love. It doesn't clutter up that window at all. The fit and finish of the Optic is very, 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 very nice. What you would expect of Aimpoint. They've always made really good products. Yeah, so I haven't zeroed it. I haven't shot this particular one, so my sample size is very, very low. I don't know how many layers of glass in it. I don't know if there's going to be issues like they had with the Aimpoints early on with the glass coming undone. But what I can say, if there is issues, Aimpoint's going to take care of it. I can, without a doubt, say that Aimpoint will take care of it. So, yeah, so that's just kind of like an initial view of this guy. Up and down arrows, up and down, very, very, you can't really hear him click, but I can hear him, I can feel him, very textile, very nice, okay. Not a lot of features on it. It is exactly what it is. It turns off, it turns on, and it has a dot in it. And that's kind of what you need. You don't need all the fancy hoo-ha stuff. Camera doesn't really do good by showing you the dot. I'll try. There you go. There you go. It's probably on like setting 6 or so, but yeah. So yeah, fit and finish is good. Everything's laser etched. Yeah, and then if you just want to turn it off, you just hold the down button. But I am so far pretty impressed with it. Some other stuff that came with it, just instructions how to change the battery, warranty information, which, you know, their warranty, they'll take care of you. And then Glock tells you about the cut. You get, if you don't want to run the Optic, obviously you get a plate to put on there. That plate is, take a look at the plate. I haven't even looked at it, because why wouldn't you want to run the Optic when you bought the Optic for the gun, right? So I can see some agencies not wanting to do that. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so the plate, plastic. It's a plastic plate. That's different. Typically the plates for MOS and stuff have been metal. This is a plastic plate. So yeah, does that really matter? Probably not. I mean, I can't think really why that would really matter, or the only thing you're doing is just protecting that surface area, that cut, really. And it's not really gonna, you use the same sights, right? So the sights are gonna protect their own thread holes, because you gotta put them back in, right? So yeah, so I don't really see the issue with that. The one thing I would say is, if you're looking kind of, if I were to put my administrator hat on, and you're looking at this like as an agency weapon maybe, and you had guys that did not want to run the Optic, and you're forced to use this iron sight, one, you're not going to have night sights, which doesn't really matter to me, because I can't think of a time that I've ever shot and it's completely pitch black. But two, you don't have any ability to drift your rear sight any to make those micro adjustments. If you got somebody that's actually like a decent shooter, and that you need to make a micro adjustment with the dovetail, you can't do that with this. So I would say it's a good time to let them get caught up to the current technology, and just, I hate to say force them to use the red dot, but you know, most people that transition to red dot end up really, really enjoying it. And if they don't enjoy it, they probably have bad instruction. And it's probably, it's not them, it's you as the instructor, it's you as the teacher that's not doing it correctly. I hate to say it, just swallow your ego, and it's going to be okay. You'll survive. Okay, so, but yeah, without me rambling on a little bit more, I'm hoping as soon as I can get walking in a boot, I will get down to the range and actually get to shoot this a little bit and give you a little bit more. So I'll do what I typically do. I'll do a 500 and 1,000 round follow-up. So, but yeah. Oh, I will say one thing about the Glock performance trigger. Now, I know there were some issues on the first generation on the Glock performance trigger. And again, I haven't shot a Glock performance trigger before. This is the first one I've ever had in a pistol. One thing I thought was cool, and this could just be my ignorance, okay? One thing I've never really liked about a Glock for dry fire purposes is when I pull the trigger, the trigger would pin to the rear, and I have to force myself to do that. Well, with the Glock performance trigger, after I go, it kind of resets itself, so I can do a little bit of more realistic dry fire training, you'll say. So that is pretty cool. Now, obviously the trigger's not breaking, but I can still work on that trigger pull and see what that dot's doing in the window as I'm tracking to my different dry fire targets. So I thought that was kind of cool as well. So yeah, there it is. Glock performance trigger with the COA. I've got multiple of these lights now. I'll probably do a video just on the light itself. I'm not going to talk about it other than it's a big improvement from the TLR1, and if you can afford it, it's worth it for this purpose right here only. This is the whole reason it's worth it. Front load battery, okay? Whether you want to run CR123s or you want to run the rechargeables that come with it, it's up to you. But that, to me, that is the reason it's worth it, okay? Not having to take that thing off all the time to change batteries. So I do like the buttons better on it as well, the push buttons. So, but yeah, I'll do a separate video on the TLR1 HLX, okay? But I'm rambling now. We'll catch you guys on the range. We'll see you on the next one, guys. See ya. Hey guys, I forgot to throw my shameless plug in there. If you want to support the channel and you want to support the business, especially while I'm injured, go over to our Shopify store. The link will be in the description. Go to the Shopify store, check out our merch, get a t-shirt, get a sun shirt. I've got one hat left over. I'm going to order some more. Those did really well. This is actually one of the hats I've got left over. Black multicam with the emblem. I'm going to get some jungle multicam again. But yeah, so go over there, check it out. Also, check out the podcast that I've got going on with my buddy Todd at Citizen Defense, Trigger Talk. I'll link the podcast in there as well. That way you can see all the people that we're talking to. We've already had a couple of pro shooters on there. We've had Brian from the Complete Combatant. We've had Scott Jelinski from Modern Samurai Project. We've got a lot of other guys coming out too, from shooters to business owners. So it's a really good podcast. So I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.